What's up, everyone? Welcome back. It's Achara Kirk, joined by Brandon Sheely.
Hello.
And a very special guest today, Dr. Sailesh Kolanu.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Very
You may
excited.
know him as the director of the hit movies. We are so excited to have you here, especially because you've just come off a flight and you're really jet lagged. And it's just so special to have you here, and you're just so very kind to do this with us right now.
Appreciate
so thank
that.
you.
Pleasure is all mine. Jet lagged in a good way because there are two phases of jet lag, right? Where you feel sleepy and where you're very active. Right now, I'm feeling very active. So
We caught you at the good swing.
Perfect.
good. Yeah, the good part of the jet lag. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Well, I'll start things off. You probably get this question a lot, but I feel like this is a good one. So, from Doctor of Optometry to Director of Hit Movies, how did this transition come about?
Yeah, it is a question that a lot of people ask me because it's a crazy transition, isn't it?
Yeah.
So writing has always been my stress buster because even when I was a PhD student and after my PhD I was a lecturer here in the UNSW in Australia, and writing was always my stress buster. So I used to keep writing scripts just for the sake of feeling happy about it.
Gotcha.
So it so happened that I ended up writing something that for the first time I felt was screen worthy. So I thought the most honest thing to do with that script is to, just take it to the guy who I imagined while I was writing it, and that happened to be Nani.
Amazing.
So I caught a flight, went to India, sorted out some contacts, met him for the first time, pitched him the script, and I didn't even know, like, I don't have experience of pitching scripts to people as well, because coming from a science background,
Sure.
Nani was really kind because he gave me the time to settle in. I never felt that I was with a star, and so he made me feel very comfortable. So I was out there like an innocent guy, acting out everything and showing to this great actor.
Yeah.
What was supposed to be a 20-minute meeting turned out to be like a 3-hour meeting that day. And then
Wow.
we didn't end up making that script. But what happened was Nani started keeping in touch with me because maybe I think he found that, there was some honesty in the way he
Yeah.
was pitching it, or I don't know what it was, but he kept in touch with me. I went back to Australia and I used to WhatsApp message him log lines whenever I was coming up with some ideas. And so one of the instances was when I pitched Hit, the first case, as a log line, and he's like, "Oh, it's very interesting. Let's discuss this when you're here in India next time." So I caught a flight within a week, went and pitched it to him.
Oh my
So that was
Wow.
how the first time he said, "You know what? I want you to direct this film." That was the shocker because I was pitching to be a writer. I never thought that I had it in me to direct a film because I was never connected to the industry. Like I was never on a movie set before.
Right.
But somehow I think in the way I was explaining it to him, or the man believes that half of filmmaking is good communication and articulation to the technicians. He was a guy who actually put the thought in me that I can direct films. So
Wow.
I went back to Australia. It took like 7-8 months to just understand that I can translate a thought onto a screen. I did a few short films as well,
Okay.
and then when I was confident that I can direct a film, I went back to him and said that what, I'm ready now.
That's
So that's
major.
how that's like a long story put in a very short detailing, but a lot happened
Wow.
between that. But yeah,
But that's crazy.
yeah,
So the reason why you did the short film, because we saw on your IMDb that you had on listed on
yeah,
their checklist,
Right.
which was for a
yeah,
50-hour filmmaking challenge,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
that's why you
yeah,
did that?
correct,
To
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of almost like a
So I
proof
just
of
wanted to check
concept.
whether am I able to translate my thoughts onto the screen or not, and and also it gave me an opportunity to see whether I'm enjoying
Yeah.
doing the thing because I know that I enjoy writing a lot,
Right.
because I like to sit in a room and just bounce my ideas onto a board and write. I enjoy doing that, but I didn't know if I would enjoy collaborating with actors and being on the set and making a movie. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to see that I'm enjoying it. So I did that. And even before Checklist, I did another short film called Chromads. That I
Oh.
shot it. I shot that also in like a few hours.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and then there was this, and then the real test came when Nani actually, said that I would direct the film, and then I thought I should do something where I had to put myself through a lot of, process of making a film. So I went to India with my money, put in a few lakhs, and then made this short film called Uniki. It's on YouTube, and so it's a story of travel blogger who basically has a difference of opinion with his dad. So he travels the whole country, documents his experiences, and it's like
Yeah.
a conflict between a dad and a son. So
Uh-huh.
I actually traveled from the southernmost point of India, which is Kanyakumari, to up north in Himachal Pradesh. So we traveled the breadth of India basically, to
Wow.
capture these visuals. And I had a very micro budget, so I was traveling in buses and trains with no comfort at all. But at the end of it, I figured out that I was enjoying the process a lot. Like, it was all worth it when I saw it on the big screen. I did a screening for my friends and family,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of satisfaction in it. There was a lot of happiness in it when I showed the film to people. That's when I decided that I really want to do it as a career. And yeah, I took that film and showed it to Nani as well, and he liked
He
it,
liked
and
it.
and
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean that film may not be the greatest of my works, but I'm very proud of it because that was me discovering that I can do it, and also there was a lot of hard work behind it because there were only
Yeah.
three people. We only had budget for like three people to travel across the country. So it used to be we used to take any train that was going northbound and we used to hop onto it and then get down at the railway station, take a shower, and then go into that city, capture the visuals. And then, we didn't have money to stay in hotels, so we will come back to the railway station, take the next northbound train, and so we did like that.
Yeah.
Like we
Like,
did a whole loop of the
Wow.
country capturing visuals, and we ended up having like I don't know, 1 terabyte of data by the time we came back. Just the visuals of this guy talking to various people, interviewing people, and process of making the film, we met so many interesting people that opened up so much of insight about
right.
life in general.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a very eye-opening experience for me. So Oniki was the one that at the end of Oniki was when I decided that no, you know what, I'm ready for it. I want to go and make
Hmm.
a film. Yeah.
That's
Oh, how long
wild.
did that take to cut? Because you had so
Oh,
much.
it was very difficult to do because we were very married to the footage because there were so many special people who met during the journey,
Right.
and it's all their stories, and we didn't know how to cut it, to be honest. So we just put it in a music we put it in a musical track, and then
Yeah.
we just went on like cutting whatever looked nice rather than, and I have all the footage. That's the most special part. Like even today, there are certain special people I met on that journey, and I just play their interviews and listen to them just
Wow.
whenever I'm
Oh,
feeling low. That's like a yeah. It's like
Yeah.
a footage that I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
Oh, I'm sure that takes you back. Speaking of like, father relationships. Now, your dad he did something to do with the industry.
He's a production manager, so he's a production controller. He was a production controller
Okay.
when right now he's retired and he's leading a happy life at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was a kid, he was a production manager. So he used to work for a director called Kodi Ramakrishna. He's very very famous, in the Telugu fraternity. He used to work for him, and yeah, so that's my dad, and he hated the fact that I was coming into movies. I just kept it as a
I read
secret.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just kept it as a secret from him because I know it would only take a couple of phone calls for him to maybe just sever off all the connections that I was trying to
oh
make
my
being in
Yeah.
Australia. Because
gosh.
yeah, because imagine like I was a lecturer here, and a job in the university is like in a 20-year contract, your life is sorted. But
Right.
but leaving
Yeah.
that and coming into a very uncertain field, not even knowing whether I can do it or not, probably my father was a little tense because he sees a lot of people around him in the same industry, right?
Yeah.
So he wasn't happy about it. But when the movie ultimately went on to become a success, he was the first one to catch the mic and say, "Hey, I know my son could do it."
Oh, he was proud. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough business, right?
Yeah,
So he probably was just
it
looking
is.
out for you, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
your
yeah. No,
mom,
he was just looking out for me. I can totally understand that. I mean, like if I were in his place, probably I would be tensed as well. But it was very cute to see him go in front of the press and start saying, "Oh, I knew my son had it in him. If not him,
wow.
who else?" I mean, that was funny.
He didn't want to let you know that.
Yeah.
Y-
Right.
Mm.
Your mom was a bit of an academic, right? Like she was a lecturer
Yeah,
or
she's a Telugu pundit. Basically, Telugu is the language that we speak. It's a regional language. So Telugu, she's a pundit. So she's a scholar of the Telugu language. She's a qualified scholar, and she was a teacher. She was a primary school teacher.
yeah.
Before she got married,
Oh,
I think after
okay.
she got married, I think after I was born, she stopped going to job because she had like three kids and she had to take care of them. So
Busy.
Yeah, busy. Yeah,
If your
yeah.
kids
From a
wanted,
lecturer to a homemaker, she dedicated her life to basically take care of us.
Mm,
yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
That's a job.
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's much more difficult than any other job, I guess.
Now, if your kids wanted to get into the industry, would you
Uh.
have the same response as your dad?
I feel, see, right now, if you ask me, I would say I wouldn't put anything in his. I have a 4-year-old boy, and I
Okay.
just want him to be happy in his life. That's it. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever he wants to do, man, doesn't really matter to me because I just want him to be happy. That's it.
Yeah, that's good. That's the most important,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like
yeah,
nowadays, especially when you've grown up with parents who have been a lot more like, you need to do this or this track is the right way to go. I feel like, when you're a product of that, then you're just like, you know what? You do whatever you want to do. I fully support you, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Different time.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Mm.
So I was curious because you talk a lot about your experience with making the short films. Was there anything that you learned from that experience that really helped you when it came to doing your first feature?
I think what I realized was filmmaking is not it's a very collaborative journey, and it's
Yeah.
very important that you communicate very clearly about what you're envisioning so that people understand what is it that you really want. So what I figured out was communication skill helps a lot in actually making a film is what I realized. And the other thing is the lot of it is people management. Like
Mm,
if you bring in great technicians into your film, they are going to do a superb job for you in bringing your
Mm,
vision onto the screen. But most of it comes down to how you actually make these people go an extra mile for you. That's what makes the difference. That is what
yeah.
I felt. And it's just that you want people to be emotionally involved in your film, and it takes a lot of effort to actually bring them to the point where they start feeling that for your project. And that's, I feel, that's the most difficult part. And I think what I have learned from being in this industry for the last 5 years is only one thing can achieve that, and that's like being very honest to what you want to create. And technicians see through that. When you're very, very honest and when you're very passionate about what you want to do, they do go an extra mile, to give you what you want. I think that's what I understood, while doing the short film and in my journey with Nani as well. Like, because Nani has been my mentor. He's really helped me shape myself into what I am today. What I have picked up from him is just be absolutely honest about what you want, what you want to,
yeah.
make the audience see, because that's where the magic is, I feel,
Right.
So that's something that I've learned from him, even while working. Although I've known him from 2017, the process of making Hit 3 was very special because I got to be near him for a very long time. For over a period of 1 year, I was traveling with him, from the pre-production to the release time, and so much I've learned from him. In The most important thing is that be very honest about what you're doing here, and that will make all the difference.
That's
Well,
really nice
Yeah.
to
yeah,
hear.
yeah, that is amazing to hear. I'm just curious because, you say that Nani is your mentor, and obviously working with him in Hit 3, he's someone who has so much experience as like an actor, producer, everything. Were there ever moments where maybe you guys clashed or you had to really fight for your vision if he was ever like, no, 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 I think this is better, and then you're like, no, I want this though.
No, see, the good thing is I think Nani and I have always been in a lot of sync with respect to what we need to do with this HIT universe, because we conceived it at a very he was the first person I ever pitched the universe idea to. So he knows exactly the grammar of this universe like as much as I do.
Ah,
So I guess there was no big clash as such where there was difference of opinion with creative differences or anything. But I guess when it comes to performance, I always thought that it's a good idea to believe in what he's also envisioning as a character to bring into the character. It comes from his tremendous experience in the field and his ability to read how a character should be portrayed. So I was super comfortable in actually letting him take over and show me what's the performance that he wants to. And if I didn't like it, and because the guy also believes in people being honest. There were instances where he does something and I didn't like it. I used to be very honest with him and say, you know what, I didn't like it. Can we do something else? And he used to be super sportive about it. And Nani is known for it. A lot of directors in our language, who work with Nani knows that he works from the point of making the film better, making the experience better. So there was no problem in me going and telling him that this is not working for me. Can we? The first 1 week was a bit of a turbulence because it is mainly because of me because I look up to him and to
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
to him and say it was a little difficult, but one day he broke the ice. He called me and said, "Look, man, you need to stop looking at me like that." And
That's
took
hard
a
to
bit of a
do, I'm
pep
sure.
talk. Yeah, it took a bit of a pep talk for him, just to bring that out of me. And then after that, it was a cruise. It was a very smooth experience after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems like you have a really good mutual trust and respect for each other. Like he trusts you as a creative and you trust him with his
Yeah.
process.
I think it's come over a period of collaboration because, as I said, the first time I met him was in 2017,
Hmm.
and the first movie that released under Wall Poster Cinema hit one was in 2020. So we traveled for 3 years even before the first movie released,
Wow.
and ever since I have done 5 films so far, and three of them have been for Wall Poster. And even the HIT one remake with Rajkumar Rao also, had Wall Poster as in because the rights were from them, so it is also
Oh, right.
technically
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. You had
one
the
of the most.
remake, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
Hindi remake.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. I did the remake in Hindi as well, with Rajkumar Rao.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that like working with him?
Oh, Raj is an amazing talent. I'm sure you must have watched a lot of his work
Yeah,
as well,
yeah,
right?
yeah. We've watched a lot. I've watched a lot of his movies and
Yeah.
I've chatted with him as well and
Oh, nice.
he's like a stellar guy.
Oh,
Um
he's an amazing person. Yeah. One of the main reasons why I said why I was okay to remake the same film that I did in Telugu. Two reasons. One is obviously I wanted to find a wider audience because the movie
Hmm.
goes into a language called Hindi, which is what is most
yeah.
commonly spoken
Yeah.
language in India. Up north, a lot of people talk in Hindi. So I thought it will be a better opportunity to reach out to more audience.
Yeah. Smart.
That's the first reason, and the second reason is Rajkumar Rao because I have been an admirer of his work and I wanted to work with him. And I learned so much from him, doing Hit One in Hindi. It was an amazing experience. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I read that you initially went in with the decision that you're going to make like 7 hit films. You're going to introduce 4 main characters and then they're going to combine for the last 3. Is that right?
Yeah, that was the vision when we decided that we want to make multiple movies, and we only had a blueprint of it. We didn't have the fine detail of
Right.
who's going to do what or how many officers are going to come in. But the blueprint, the vague blueprint was that we create characters. Like it's almost like the Avengers, but in a
Right.
cop world.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun idea that we were bouncing around, and we thought, okay, why not? Let's see how the first one works, and then if it is showered with enough love, then why not? And then because the first one worked out so well, we wanted to go ahead and and expand the universe as well. Like, but the blueprint was there, like from the beginning, how to connect these characters, what kind of cases that we'll be dealing with, all that. The blueprint was there, the
Hmm.
kind of characterizations and all. That's why you'll see in Hit 2 ending itself, we had introduced the Arjun Sarkar character,
Yeah.
and you will
Yeah.
even see the kind of shot that was there. Like he already had the victim in the back of his car, and we start the film with
Yes.
the.
It was so wild.
Part 1
So it was
too, we
thought
got a
out
little
in.
bit of foreshadowing at the end of that film that there was more to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
And
Yeah,
we were
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, we're ready to
But
see it like right now."
what I find so incredible is like you guys must have had so much confidence in the first movie, right? To kind of tease that there was going to be a second one.
Yeah.
Was there ever a moment where you were like, we could fail? Like we might not make a second one, or were you like,
Well,
nah, this is gonna be a hit? Like no pun
in fact,
intended.
what's the most common response that I had? Oh, this guy has the audacity to name his film a hit.
It's actually a great
But then,
idea.
yeah, but when we revealed that it is homicide intervention team, people are like, oh, that's why it's called hit.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But you're right. I mean, like there was a possibility that the first film didn't do well, and like, what's the worst that could have happened,
Right.
I'm like, oh, I would have made a fool of myself, but I don't take myself too seriously, so that's all right.
At least you could be happy with yourself. If it was not a hit, you could be happy with yourself
Yeah.
with what you made, right?
Right.
That's the big
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know you
Yeah,
mentioned.
because
Go
I
ahead.
was just I believe in doing doing movies because I love to do it. Like it's
Hmm.
not about validation or anything, It's just that I enjoy this process so much, and I want to be here and I want to create, I want to tell stories, and that's why I'm doing it. It's not about. So if you fail, because not all movies will succeed, because
That's
they're
true.
Mhm.
not like, I've recently had a really major failure as well at the box office, but I'm still proud of the film because I know that I put in a lot of effort into that movie. We worked very hard
Yeah.
for it. I'm very proud of the team. But yeah, this movie's success and failure is not the one that defines the satisfaction we get out of the process. I believe in that very strongly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are working in an industry where less than 10% of films actually connect and become box office successes, and it is inevitable that any director will taste failure in their lives. So
Right. And
I
and
don't tie myself a lot to that. Yeah.
and it doesn't necessarily mean that just because it's not a box office success that it's automatically a bad movie. It's
Right.
just that
Correct.
it didn't
Yeah.
reach the right audience. And there
Yeah.
is an
Yeah.
audience
You
out
know,
there for everything, I feel.
Hmm.
correct. Exactly. And in fact, if you really look into the history of Indian cinema, a lot of great films that we actually celebrate today, they were not box office successes back then.
Right.
But they age well. So it will find an audience at one point in time is what is a belief. In fact, my favorite actor, Kamal Hassan sir, I'm sure you must have heard
Yeah.
about him. His most celebrated films today were, like box office failures back then. But that's how things are
You
sometimes. Yeah.
never
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Cult
People just
classics.
don't get it at the time.
Yeah.
And then later
Yeah.
on, it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
And
now
also
we
some movies
understand.
grow well. Some movies age well and grow well on people. I guess that's also sometimes you're ahead of the curve, and
Yeah.
sometimes you're thinking of concepts that people may not get it
Hmm.
at this point in time, and later on it becomes relevant. And yeah, so many reasons why it happens. Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
be. It could have just been an opening against something else that was really strong, or
Yeah.
marketing, or any of the above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even as simple as something like, these are something that we as creators don't think about, but even a release date matters a lot for a film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what, like, like for example, one of my films that I was saying that didn't do well released with four other films, and I'm sure the writing must have been flawed at some level, and I'm still learning what went wrong. But I'm 100% sure that the release date also had an impact because it released with four other films within a span of three
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
That's
tough,
It's
tough.
man.
so many reasons why. Yeah, those are all not under our control. So for a film to do well at box office, like 100 things have to come together. But I think to make an honest film, there's only one thing that that's the intention of what's the intention of making the film is the only thing that controls how honest the film comes out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
absolutely. I think you look
Yeah.
at it in a very mature way as far as failure. I
Yeah.
mean,
Mm.
you just move on to the next thing. You're happy with
Right.
what you made.
And you learn from
Yeah.
it
That's
as
right.
well, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. And I also
valuable.
believe that people want to collaborate with you if they know that your intention of making movies is like right. Uh, you know, um, Not looking at, whether you've had a success or a failure. And there
Yeah.
are mature people like that in the industry as well who would want to do that. So I think
Right.
that's the only thing for if you want to have longevity making films and having a chance of making a film. I think the only way to do that is to be committed and to be very the integrity and the honesty is the only way to get repeated opportunities is what I feel.
Well,
Yeah.
thinking about because obviously we only know your work in the HIT or HIT universe, right? Like,
Mhm.
we just finished watching the other two. We watched them in completely the
You
wrong
All
did.
order,
backwards, yeah.
but it totally works.
It works, yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
It works, and it's
Yeah.
so great because we really noticed how each movie felt very different. And I was wondering, was that always the intention, or did you kind of take what you learned from the previous one and then be like, oh, I want to do things a little bit differently now, you know? Like what was the process there?
I think if you really look at all the three movies, they have a similar grammar. It could be visuals or it could be the way the narrative progresses. There is a
Right.
certain DNA, certain grammar that is similar between all the three films, but the films feel very different mainly because these are protagonist-driven films, which means you're actually seeing the film from the protagonist point of view. And when the characterization, the way they behave is extremely different, the experience also becomes different for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Although the nature of crime and all it is very different in all the three films, but I intentionally try to make it a different experience. I don't want, like for example, if you see Hit 3 per se, we wanted to even narratively give it a little bit of a spin from the other
Yeah.
two. We wanted to
Absolutely.
make it a survival thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to make it a survival thriller, bring keep in as much of investigation as possible, but from one point in time, it starts feeling like a survival thriller. That was a very conscious decision because we wanted to give a different kind of experience to the audience. One was very funny because when I went to make the first case, that the first day of the shoot was my first day on a movie set ever. The
Wow.
only thing that I did was short films before that, and
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. And that's why the film also feels very raw, very rustic.
Hmm.
Sometimes I go and I put the camera, the day would have been planned for like let's say 25 shots. I go and put the master and the actors are performing and I feel wow, it holds and I really like it and I don't want to shoot anymore. And that's it. I went in with such a raw approach to it because I
Right.
was a
Yeah.
blank paper at that time. I was only making a film that I felt I was enjoying watching it on the screen.
Yeah.
So there's a certain sense of innocence as there is there in that film, if you
Right.
see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so when it came to two, I've already learned. I was a little, I knew that okay, now after a while there has to be an OTS here. There is a
Hmm.
grammar that is there, right?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that kicks in without your knowledge. Actually, you don't intentionally do it, but it happens. So I call it contamination in a good way. Like, you do
Okay.
get so one was very raw and rustic, mainly because of me being like a blank paper, not knowing how to make
Right.
a film,
Yeah.
and that's the only way I knew how to make a film. Two, I felt was had a little more finesse with respect to not narratively, but I'm saying with respect to short division, and the way the performances were
Yeah.
extracted,
Yeah.
the way it had more cinematic grammar, I would say.
Okay.
And also the lead character who played Advisesh, he was playing a very jovial guy. He was a goofy guy who, if you had seen Hit 2, he's a very, he speaks irrelevant stuff and he doesn't know how to be diplomatic, and that's
Right.
that's the kind of
Right.
jovial character he was. And that experience became very different as well. And three was intentionally made very differently than the other two.
Yeah.
We wanted to pack it with a lot of theatrical moments. We wanted the audience to like to be celebrating the character
Yeah.
when it be in the second half of the film. Once he goes into the location and he's stuck between the people, I
Yeah.
wanted it to be like a really, we went all guns blazing in that episode.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we watched part two the other day, um, we were like, oh my God, like it was the pacing was like
Yeah.
perfect.
It felt a
Yeah.
lot tighter
Yeah.
than the first
Yeah.
Even though the
movie.
first one we really
Yeah.
enjoyed, the
Yeah.
second one I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, it's
Yeah.
just leveling up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like
Each
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
each one.
That's a very interesting thing to hear because this is what happens. A lot of people, uh, you know, seem to like different. Some people like
Mhm.
Hit 1, some people like Hit 2
Yeah.
more. Some
Yeah.
people loved Hit 3 more than all the three, more than the other two. But I personally feel it's just that we are trying to explore the thriller genre, investigative thriller genre in different ways possible, and I want to keep giving different flavors within. So the first one was very procedural drama. If you really look at
Yes.
it,
Yeah.
it talks about a lot of police procedural drama, which people don't get to see in movies generally. Like, how police operate, to unravel a crime. We don't get to see it. We only get to see the beats of their discovery, and we get to see the beats of
Right.
the consequences,
Yep.
which was what was more covered in part two. In part two, you will not see a lot of procedural drama. It was more about the beats. It was about when they discover something, how they respond to it, and what are the hardships that the protagonist is going through to save somebody. It was all it was all based on a lot of consequence of the discoveries.
Right.
But if you really see, the part one is more about how they discovered things. Like, it
Hmm.
was more the procedural drama behind each discovery was how suspects are treated, and how suspicions are formed, and what are the various forensic techniques that they bring in to kind of confirm the suspicions, and that it was more about that.
Yeah.
um And yeah, you're right. And Brandon, when he says that we try to level up with each one, that's right. Because the first part was about an innocent couple who just happened to commit a crime in a spur of a moment. It was never intentional for them, and they went ahead and tried to cover the crime up, and it was a consequence of their
Yeah.
choice. Whereas if you see the second one, it was about a very twisted guy who had a traumatic childhood and how the decisions that he took, his obsession of punishing women,
Hmm.
irrespective of where they come from. That's what unfolds the story. Whereas the third one is about is a much bigger nexus of
Yeah.
twisted people who are connecting on the dark web, and who it goes into. So we tried to level up with each part, but different people seem to like different parts of HIT, and that's a very nice thing, according to me, if you ask me. Yeah.
No, I mean
Yeah.
you've done, I think, what many people are not able to do, which is to continue to make sequels that are as good, if not better, than the original. You know
Very
what I
hard.
mean?
Yeah.
There's
Very
not
hard.
many franchises that
True, that's true.
actually do
Very
that.
challenging. Yeah, it is a challenging job to. Every time it happens when I made hit one, and when hit two released, they say that, oh, hit one is better than hit two, but then when hit three releases, they say hit one and two are better than three. And I know it's because it happens, because obviously, but the thing is, when the movie releases, I've had good experience
Hmm.
in all the releases of hit universe. That's a good thing. Like
That's
I'm
great.
very happy about it. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I think I'm just so fascinated because every single one has been so different and so cool in its own way. And, you're talking about doing more. There are more coming, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Oh,
Even
Okay.
in
I
the third
can't
one, we
wait.
have given a lead to the fourth one. Like you
Yeah.
must have seen it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Karthi
Yep.
comes in towards the
Exactly.
end of the third one. So yeah, right now I'm in the process of marinating with the idea of I'm thinking of something. So
Hmm.
it's just marinating in my head right
Right.
now.
So
So
so you're marinating right now. So it's like, what is the secret sauce to like continuing to innovate and keep it fresh? Because a lot of the time when you go into franchises, it's like, when you watch the Fast and the Furious or something, you know what you're going to get. It's pretty
Hmm.
formulaic,
Yeah.
but we keep going back because there's some sort of comfort, and it's like, I know it's ridiculous, but I love it. And it continues to get more and more ridiculous. But I don't feel like that's the case with the HIT franchise. How do you keep coming up with such original concepts, like either in the storytelling or filmmaking?
I think the essence of the whole universe lies on the case that we take up. Like, what's the
Hmm.
crime that the
Right.
protagonist is? So there are only two things that keep it very interesting, is because we already cracked the DNA and the grammar of the universe. There are two things that I always just make sure that we get it right before I even start writing the screenplay of the film, which is, who's his character? Is he
Hmm.
interesting? The protagonist, the investigator, is he interesting enough for me to travel with him for the next 2.5 hours? And is he gonna make it interesting for me is the first. And the most important thing is the case that we take up. That needs to be a shocker. It needs to, because ultimately people are buying tickets for a thriller. Like, they're
Yeah.
going in to watch a thriller. They want to be thrilled. So does the case have the potential to give that kind of a thrill? Is the other thing. So what I do is I'm like constantly keeping myself updated with the kind of crimes that are happening around the world. I read a lot of forensic books. Being an academician, I guess I have the privilege and luxury of having access to great libraries which have like
Right.
Oh
really good
yeah.
forensic books. And I read criminology, psychology, and forensic books a lot, so that I try to integrate the theories into the crimes that I read about. So it's a kind of I find myself dwelling in this very dark space of researching a lot about crimes and stuff, and I've been doing that over the last few years,
Yeah.
ever since I've conceived this universe. And that's how, if you see the first case is really based on an event that happened in the US. There was a cop who was who was accused of not helping a girl who was stuck on a highway, and the whole geography of
Ah.
how he
Oh.
met the girl
Oh.
and then moved on to something, comes back and sees the girl is talking to someone, and then later on realizes that the girl has been taken, was
Crazy.
inspired from a real crime event that happened in the US. similarly, the second one as well, I've done deep research on how fake domestic violence cases happen all the time in India, and I have like huge data of how fake domestic violence cases happen
Mm-hmm.
in India. So I wanted to do a film that said something about these fake domestic violence
Yeah.
cases, where just women go and put random fake case on the husband because she's not getting
Yeah.
along well, and men. It's so easy to bring down a guy. You need to work for decades to prove that you're innocent if a woman comes and
Right.
says that
It's
Right.
true.
And then
yeah, it's
it also,
unfortunate truth.
yeah, and it backfires on women too, I feel, because,
Correct. Yeah,
you make a
yeah.
fake case
I
and
mean,
then for
as much
all the
as I
people,
understand why these, laws for women are made in India to protect them,
yeah.
but unfortunately, there is a segment of women who do take advantage of
Mm-hmm.
that. I wanted to make a film about that, and so I based the crime on that, and then all the dental imprints on the neck and all that, they're all
Mm-hmm.
again real cases. So I kind of integrate the real life events into whatever drama that I want to create,
Yeah.
and even the one Hit 3, if you see it, so there is this the guy called Peter Scully in Australia. I read about this back in 2014, 2015,
Yeah.
where he was, committing crime on children, and he fled to Vietnam, and people curved him there, and so basically he was recording the videos of him performing the murders, and he was selling it on the dark web
Oh.
to people. So it's all inspired from various real life events that happen, but we try to bring in our own spin of drama into it. That's how
Right.
I've been able to keep it keep it interesting and different from every single crime. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed you mentioned also BTK, similar to CTK in your film
Correct.
there,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which is, of
Yeah,
course, a very
exactly.
famous
Yeah.
killer here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
When we were watching the films, it almost feels like you're watching like a crime drama show, right?
Yeah.
Like it's really well done, and you feel like you could watch these movies forever. Like each one is just an episode, which
Yeah.
was a really neat
Yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah.
And
That's
honestly,
what uh that's what Rajamouli sir actually says
oh,
this, because
okay,
he's a close associate of the Hit universe, because he always
Wow.
comes to our yeah because he always comes to our comes to our events to bless us,
oh,
to he
yeah,
so
Oh,
that's a
for
big
all
deal.
for the for the first case, second case, and the third case, he was the chief guest for all the pre-release events that we have done for all the three cases, and he tells the same thing what you just said. He
Yeah,
says that it's like a never-ending series of movies, because there is no end to the number of crimes that we can actually
right.
so the hope is that my vision is just this much, where I want to introduce four officers and bring them together
Mm-hmm.
in the finale, but
uh-huh.
the universe has a scope of even outliving me, it can keep going on.
Right.
Never know, man. It could
Yeah.
be like James Bond.
Right?
I mean, she and I are pretty good at picking up on things in films, right? But I got to tell you, when we watched the first one, we did not see the end coming. When we watched the second one, we did not
Yeah.
see that coming. Like it was very well done. Like you just put out just enough
Yeah.
to get us there, and that's really hard to do.
It is. It is. Because, like, there were moments,
Yeah.
especially in the second one, where I was like, I was so confident.
Yeah.
I was like, I know who it is. And then at the last second, when the final reveal happened, I was like,
Oh.
what the
Crazy.
God damn
Right.
it. But that's
good.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that is the exact perfect balance that you have to strike. And I talk about this in our review, where it's like,
Yeah.
you need to give just enough that the savvy audience member who's following closely along is like, I'm investigating. I got this. I can do this along with the protagonist. But then there still has to be a satisfying twist at the end so that we can all go, WTF. Like,
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
not see that coming. How do
Yeah.
you find those moments,
so good.
of like what to give and what to hide?
It's like a very dangerous thing to do. I'll tell you why I'm saying this, okay? Because if you try to bring in a twist that's miles away from what the audience are expecting it, they'll actually get irritated, because it'll be
Yep,
like
it's true.
100%.
it'll hurt their ego too much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it has to be, you need to leave enough breadcrumbs for them, just enough so that they don't, like, when they think about the journey with the film, because it is an investigative thriller, they're also investigating along with the protagonist. when they think of where my investigation started, I should have somewhere given them a clue of being able to pick up, and they shouldn't have been able to do that. But if you bring in a brand new story and say that, this is what it is, people will get. So if you really see the first part, why? So there are two layers of twist that happens towards the end of the film. One
Yeah.
is that showing the guy who was right next to the protagonist all through the film was the one who did it, which is Rohit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You all think that, oh, why did he do it? But then the wife comes in and says that it's not him, it's me.
Yeah. Double
The reason
twist.
why I did that, yeah, the reason why I did that is because I have left enough breadcrumbs with with his colleague, tailing him around and doing stuff. But the wife was not a part of the narrative so much. But so if I reveal that the wife has done it right away, I thought that it'll be too much of So I took it slowly, like, it's
Mm-hmm.
like pampering the ego of the audience, like, oh, this is the guy. Oh, that's not the guy, but it's his wife. So I kind of, it's like a shock absorber, like, I've cushioned the blow a little bit there. So kind of the thought process is like that, but sometimes we get it right and sometimes we get it wrong. For example,
Mm-hmm.
in the second part, like, you people might not have gone through this, but a lot of audience, a major part of the audience, they could already say that the protagonist, the antagonist is going to be this guy, because something went wrong there. What happened was, when we did at the level of casting, something went wrong, because I casted this fabulous actor who's Suhas. His name is Suhas. He's a fabulous actor. He's done
Uh-huh.
this national award winning film called Color Photo. I don't know if you guys
No,
watched
I
it or
haven't
not,
seen that yet.
but Suhas is the antagonist of the second part, right? So he was not a big actor when I casted him and when I started shooting the
Okay.
film. But what happened is, when we were midway through the shoot of the film, he had a big release, and then, like, his name became even more famous as we were shooting the film. By the time my film released, Suhas was no more a guy who was just doing characters. He was actually doing lead characters in films. So the moment you
Oh.
Oh.
see that guy, it was a decision that we had to take then. And I was banking on, you know what, it's fine. I think it will not impact the final satisfaction that you have with the film, because even although, like, maybe 10% or 20% of the audience might be able to guess that Suhas is the antagonist of the film, they
Mhm.
wouldn't still be able to guess why and how.
Right.
And the final drama between the antagonist and the protagonist, where he's tied the protagonist down on a dental chair, and, he's inserting pins into his stomach, and he's slashing his pregnant wife. I think the drama will flourish, is what I had a firm belief on. And
Right.
that's what worked for Hit too. I believe having a great performer like that, somebody like Suhas to come and do that. I think that 15 minutes of the film kind of left a really nice experience for the audience to take back home. So that's why that film worked. Like, even though a part of the audience were able to actually see that the guy
Right.
who's a
Yeah.
antagonist. So yeah, and for part three, I didn't want to deal with it as a whodunit. It was in the middle, at the midpoint of the film itself, you will see that the antagonist has been revealed. Like, we
Right.
know
Yeah.
who's the antagonist. It's about
It was
what
different.
happens when he goes there. So it is a very different survival thriller kind of a thing. It's not a whodunit. Beyond the midpoint of the film, I didn't want it to be a whodunit. So we revealed so that I can have an interesting play between the two characters. So that was again a conscious decision. So that's why three also feels much more different than one and two, because it's not a whodunit.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
feel so different.
They
I'm
really
going to tell
do.
you, man, that second half of part three, I was not expecting it, and it was wild, man. I loved it because I'm very into. I have a stunt background, so I'm very into like
Right.
fight coordinating and action scenes that are done really well. And sometimes I had no idea. Before I came on, before Jabby and Achar had me on the channel, I had never seen an Indian film, right? And
Oh,
this was like, it's been several months now.
Yeah.
But then when I started watching them, especially the more recent ones, I'm like, whoa, the choreography and the fights are good. But then
yeah.
sometimes there would be issues where like hits not landing or being
Yeah.
shot too tightly, and it just kind of messes up the flows. I'm more of the Jackie Chan school of nice wide looks and being able to see everything. At the end, man, that whole sequence down the hall, everything, the
Crazy.
oneer, all of that was shot so well, and it was
Yeah.
just done so well. I'm curious,
Yeah.
did you have a second unit shooting that, or were you there for that?
No, no. So what happened was, so all this action choreography and direction of the action parts. So we directors are on the set, but
Hmm.
it's actually done by an action choreographer, action designer.
Right.
So Lee Whitaker was the person who actually choreographed and directed the whole part of that whole action sequence that was
Yeah.
Wow.
there. So Lee Whitaker lives in Albuquerque. Actually, he's worked for the Fast and the Furious and stuff. So I've been wanting to collaborate with Lee for a very long time. He's like a brother,
Y-
and he just smashed it out of the park. I guess what happened was Lee is very specific about technique and
Mm.
also the dramatic beats in the action. So he saw all the footage that I had shot of the film, and I loved that because when he came in and said, Sailesh, I want to watch the whole film, including all the action that's been done in the
Yeah.
film before this sequence, and because the vision is to keep everything consistent, because obviously we would have cracked a certain fighting style, action style for Arjun Sarkar as a character, and
Hmm.
he wanted to stick to that. So he came in and watched the whole film. We sat down. And at that point, I had written the action script, but the fine detailing, I wanted the action choreographer to come in with his vision. So I kept all that, for Lee to
It's
come in
good.
and start exploring his zone. And then he came in with his writers. I mean, there was action writing that happened.
Hmm.
So we jotted down all the plot points of. So if you really look at that 25 to 30 minutes episode of from the time he saves the baby to the time
Yeah.
he pops the antagonist, that itself has a beginning, middle, and an end as well.
Right.
Like it has its ups and downs. It was dealt with as a separate screenplay. We wrote it, action beats
Oh.
and all,
Okay.
and we constructed the set according to the action beats that we had written.
Hmm.
So the corridors were designed according to what we had written, in for action, not just story, for action. And the set was actually constructed to facilitate that kind of action.
Wow.
So Lee did
Beautiful.
that background work for me, and then after that, the whole previous thing happened. So every single shot of the action was actually shot before. So we shot it in the most methodical way possible, because keeping the actors safe and nobody got hurt. That touch wood, nobody got
Yeah.
hurt as well, because I mean, like we were. It was about 22 or 23 days of action shoot, and we did
Wow.
it in the most safest way possible. We had an 8-month-old baby on the set. That was a huge, big tension for me running
Yeah.
around, because I have to keep the baby safe and shoot it the most effective way. All that was there, but I think Lee just hit it out of the park. It was his team.
Yeah, it's really great that he asked to see the rest of the film because if the tone of the fight didn't match the rest of the film,
Yeah,
it would just be
Yeah.
not cohesive at all. So that's
yeah,
really great
exactly.
that he
Yeah,
did that. Did Nani
yeah.
train a lot for that? Because I could
Oh
see a
yeah,
lot of that
absolutely.
was him.
I mean, Nani is really agile. When it comes to action, he's very agile, and he's a physically very fit person as well. Like he's lean. He's got a lot of lean
Yeah.
muscle on him. He
Yeah.
moves fast. He hasn't explored this much of action before, so he was pumped up as well. Like his movies have action, but this
Yeah.
is the first one that's like that's got a lot of action in it. The one that he is doing right now is going to be like the mother of all the action that you will
Oh
see that's
yeah,
coming
I
up.
saw that
It's
coming
called
up.
Paradise. Like it's
Yeah.
coming up. That's like I'm really looking forward to that movie. But this one, at that point in time, this is the highest action, the amount of action that he had done, the most stylish one that he had done. So he was very pumped up as well. So he worked very hard, to physically transform for the role as well, and also he put in a lot of hours. During the previous
Yeah.
stage of the project,
Mm-hmm.
he used to come in and Lee used to train him.
Wow.
There's Fede, who's also an action choreographer who worked with in Lee's team. Fede is the guy who actually trained Nani, helped him a
Nice.
lot in getting the moves right. So this team, it facilitated it made up for a brilliant action sequence to be witnessed on the screen, and a lot of the credit should go to Lee and Fede for that, is what I strongly believe. Yeah.
Seems like you worked well together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been wanting to work together. I mean, even in Hit 2, Lee just walked into my set one day. Like one of my friends called Samyukta. She just brought Lee. She was his manager back then. She just walked Lee into my set and was like, "Hey, I want you to meet this great action choreographer, man." This was back in 2022, and ever since I've been wanting to work with Lee for a very like
Yeah.
we tried to make something work for in Hit 2 itself, but didn't happen because of his availability and stuff. But finally, it happened for Hit 3. I think it was meant to happen.
Yeah, well, the thing is, in Hit 1 and 2, even though you didn't have a whole lot of fights and action, the action that did take place, the fights that took place, were very grounded,
Yeah.
which I think was nice
Yeah,
because I noticed
yeah,
some films, man, they get a little wild, and you're like, it kind of takes you
Yeah.
out of it because, hey, this is a
Yeah.
realistic movie. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I
Yeah.
thought that the other two movies did a good job of placing the action.
Ultimately, it comes down to the taste of the director who's making the film. Like,
Hmm.
what kind of action do you enjoy watching? That's
Right.
pretty much the kind of action that makes it into your film is what I believe. So, I like fast-paced action. Like I don't like to slow down the action with high-speed shots and
Right.
stuff. I like to be on the go and I want to see how fast the action is taking place. I don't want to, and I don't like to go into too many cuts because as you were saying, Brandon, like, you like to see how the body is moving. That's what action is all about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see how well the body is moving, how agile the fighters are, fighting against each other. That's the taste that I have for action. I'm a huge sucker for Jackie Chan films as well. So, I think ultimately it all comes down to while writing what the maker is envisioning and what he's
Hmm.
enjoying is what usually makes it to the final cut.
That totally makes sense.
Talking about the writing again, it seems like you're always in a dark space, especially with this universe.
Yeah.
like what is going on inside your head when you're writing these, and do you need a palate cleanse? And if so, what is the alternate that kind of keeps you grounded?
See, I think a lot of people ask me this question because I'm a very friendly guy in real life, and
You
Yeah.
I'm like
seem to
kind of
be, yeah.
like I hope I'm giving you that vibe,
Yeah.
but generally I'm a very goofy person. I make people laugh, and I'm generally the joker in a gang when I'm trying hard to make people laugh in a party. But people ask me, why do you make such dark stuff, man? I mean, like, why do you dwell in
Yeah.
this place? I think it's just because I love thrillers and I love to watch thrillers and that's pretty much how it started and I'm enjoying doing this and that's pretty much what's keeping it going. But of course I do need a palate cleansing like I do need that because so mostly it's my friends that I hang out with and just
Okay.
disconnect from all this and I have a boy who's like I told you he's a 4-year-old
Yeah.
boy so I play with him a lot so that's something that I do and I sometimes I'm playing cricket back in India cricket is a huge thing so
Mm.
I have a bunch of buddies I go out with and I play cricket with them. I ride a horse and there's multiple
Oh,
stuff that I
wow.
Okay.
do
That's
Wow.
just
impressive.
to keep just to keep myself a little sane. The good thing is the next one that I'm doing right now is it is a breezy rom-com. It's a love story that
Oh.
happens
Mm.
among like 25, 24-year-old. It's very young and vibe, but that's the kind of palate cleansing that I'm doing, I would say.
That's so
Before I get
different.
back to the hit universe, I just wanted to do something that's a little more breezy in nature so that I get to do something other than the hit universe as well. Yeah.
I can't wait to see that. That'll be
That's
that'll
going
be
to be really
very
interesting to see.
interesting just to see your take on that.
How did you guys find the love stories in the hit universe? Like, you've seen the first one, the second, the third one. Like I usually try to keep a very, very small thread of protagonists, the two protagonists,
Yeah.
falling
Yeah.
in love and stuff. What's your take on the love stories that happen in the hit universe?
I liked it. I thought it was really well done, but I also liked that it wasn't like a main focus. Do you know what
Mm.
I mean? Because
Mhm.
sometimes I feel like, especially in many Indian films, when you're trying to appeal to the widest audience, it can often feel like we just threw in a love story because we want
Right.
to appeal to the women who are watching this with their husbands or boyfriends or whatever. And
Right.
it's like, I didn't need that.
It changes the
Whereas
tone.
it does.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I'm a woman, and I love a love story. I love love. Don't get me wrong. But I thought that with these ones, it was really nice because it kind of informed us about the character, about our
Right.
protagonist that
Yeah.
we're following.
Exactly.
And this is
Yeah.
who this
Hmm.
person is. He cares deeply.
Yeah.
He's in love, all of that. And so it just kind of, for me, it made the story stronger overall because
Yeah.
it informed who this person is.
Yeah, and it gave
Yeah.
them
You know,
something to fight for,
Yeah.
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's very interesting because that's exactly why we in the hit universe sometimes why we need to show certain certain relationship drama as well is because it kind of makes you root for the person when you know them at a deeper level, when you know that this person is like that with his father, this person is like that with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You are kind of discovering the person more so that you root for them more. That's the whole idea. But I also try to keep it relevant to the storyline as well. Like on all the three parts, if you see, the love story is directly connected to the main plot of the film as well somehow,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and at some level. So I think that's what makes it. So right now I'm dwelling into a full-blown love story, which is a very of like 24 years and 25 years old people.
Yeah.
So that's like been a very different experience writing, because I've been writing that for the last 6 months, and I think I'm gonna start shooting it in the month of November or something. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
that's what is happening. Yeah.
So, has every single movie you've done been a film that you've written and then
Yeah.
directed?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So, would you
Like
ever
a lot
consider
of
doing like a movie that you haven't written?
that's something that I don't even know, because it's a very different experience, like to own somebody else's script and travel with
Right.
it for an year and try to give it a vision. I don't know, like to be honest, I've never done that, so I don't know how it feels like, what it feels like.
Yeah.
I'm up for it if a script catches my attention so much that I feel so desperate to direct it and tell the story, and the guy who's actually written it do not know how to direct it and he wants me to do it. I would give it I would give it a try, but I would probably first sit with the team and give them my vision. This is how I'm seeing it. I don't even know, man, how it works, to be honest.
I don't know, but I tell
Yeah.
you what, when you write it and direct it, you can make changes on the fly. That's the cool thing about
Right.
that.
There's so much
I mean,
ownership.
even if somebody else writes it, you can make changes on the fly, because the person who writes the script is usually available on the set, and
True.
or just a phone call away. And if a director feels like doing it, I'm sure they will give the freedom for the director to do certain things. But it is more than that. I think it's a personal connection to the thought that is germinated from deep within
Mm-hmm.
you, and you're married to that thought, and you want to give your best. You want to go out of your way. You're willing to take. I mean, to be very honest, people think it's a glamorous world, the movie making industry,
Yeah.
but you go through so much when you make a film.
Yeah.
You're like working in the most difficult conditions.
Yeah.
Although people around you try to keep the makers and the staff very comfortable, but it is inevitable when you have to go and shoot in the most difficult of terrains, and you have long working hours, and there's like it's a high stress environment, and there's
Yeah.
so much happening. It is not an easy job, and so to do that, I think it has been much meaningful for me, because it is a thought that I have conceived, and it is something that I want to tell the world. I do not know how it feels like if I take up somebody else's vision or somebody else's thought and trying to give it my vision. I don't know how it feels like. I would
Yeah.
love to try it sometime in my career. I don't know when that will happen, but if the thought is really interesting, and if it pushes me and it gives me a sense of wanting to do it, I might give it a try. But I'm also wanting to discover what it feels like. I think the most beautiful thing about art is getting into something that you don't know, right?
Right.
That's the beauty of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would love to explore it at some point in time.
Definitely would be different. You told me that you happened to watch our hit the third chapter.
I was going to tell you, I was just going to tell you this. See, you know why I love watching reaction videos? I do watch a few more people's reaction videos as well.
Mhm.
Why I love watching reaction videos is because generally when the reaction that we see, the audience watching the film, is when generally we stand in the back of the auditorium,
Right.
Oh, right.
so we don't get to see their faces, how they react, right? We
Yeah.
don't really get to see their excitement. We don't get to see the smile on their face, or we are standing at the back of the auditorium. We hear them cheering for the scenes that we have written. We hear them, booing for a scene sometimes if they don't like it. But that's also fine. But I'm just saying, the fun in watching you guys react is like, this is a different perspective that makers don't get to see it.
That's
Like,
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
so when we are when I'm seeing you guys react to every single beat that I had envisioned, that I want this smile to come on my audience's face. I want this excitement. I want this wow to come on my audience's face. And that I get to see it when you guys do it. That's why I enjoy it the most. Like, and there is a small window of the video also playing down and you guys reacting to it. It's a fun experience watching it. I was the other day actually forwarded your reaction video to Nani as well. I said, look at how they have reacted to every single beat that we were sitting and discussing during the pre-production
That's
phase, like
awesome.
while we were writing the script. Like, look at every single beat, how they react, and gives a lot of satisfaction in seeing the audience react like that.
I'm glad you feel that way because that's what I
Yeah.
was curious about. Like, how does it feel to see someone? Because obviously there's a language barrier. Like, we have to read subtitles,
Correct.
and
Yeah, yeah,
we might not understand some of the things that are very
Like the nuance.
India-centric. Yeah, the
Yeah.
nuances, and
yeah,
for us to
yeah.
be able to react and be moved and feel the emotions as your films. How does that feel to see an international audience?
It's very interesting because that's the same thing that the language barrier, like, there are certain nuances related to the
Yeah,
local language, local slang, the jokes
Right.
that sometimes work for the local audience might not reach you because you don't know what's happening, like,
happens all the time.
but yeah, but we do understand that when we are watching a reaction video by foreigners who are not from our language, we do understand that this joke will not land with them because it's not something, some famous pop culture or some kind of a meme
Yeah,
reference that is locally very famous. You may not get it. But we also see that there are certain emotions that we write which are very universal in nature, like the very primal reactions like fear,
Yeah.
thrill, romance. These are the things that don't require language to communicate. And, it's like a nice check whether, those are cutting through the language barrier and reaching you or not is also a great exercise for us to see,
man,
Yeah, but
it's
I enjoy your videos because especially when you react and towards the end you do discuss the movie as well, like what it did to you, and
mhm.
it's like a nice unbiased review as well for the whole film because you don't carry the baggage of being somebody's favorite or being influenced by my previous work or whatever. Like you guys are miles away from all the things that are happening in India, and you reviewing the film would mean that it's genuinely being reviewed for what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't come with a baggage of expectations. It doesn't come with, I know that it is coming from a very honest space. And also it has transcended all the language barriers and it has reached you. So it is a much more reflection of what a real criticism of my artwork is. So I kind of give it that kind of an importance to.
Oh,
Great,
Yeah.
because we were saying after we watched, I don't remember if it was one or two. I think it was two, and we were saying that this could easily have been a Hollywood production.
yeah.
Like it felt like the level of filmmaking, the production value,
The story.
the story itself, just the way it was done. If it was in English and was produced by Hollywood, I could totally see that.
Yeah, yeah.
It gave me like your films kind of give me. I have two favorite genres, which is action and thriller, and I always said, man, I would love to write a movie that actually does action really well and a crime thriller really well. And when we watched Hit 3, I told Achara, I said, this is my top 3 Indian films I've watched. It
Oh
actually
yeah.
did both very well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No,
so,
thanks a lot for saying that, man. Means a lot
oh
coming from
yeah,
you
because
guys.
it gave me
Yeah.
like the tone almost reminded me of like Seven, like in the especially in the second one, I
Huge David
think.
Fincher fan here, by the way.
Okay, okay. But I love that. I mean, there's a reason people love that film.
Yeah.
It sets the
Yeah.
tone and the mood so well. And I think you've
Yeah.
really
Yeah. I think it's
mastered
the
that.
it's the mastery of Fincher because that's what he's too good at, right? He can make a film like Seven and he can also make a film like Network and then still make it work.
Right.
Crazy.
And it still has Fincher's signature on it. It's like so amazing to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of, like, are there other filmmakers who maybe you've been inspired by in the past or maybe are still inspired by today?
So, my inspiration comes from all the films that I have watched when I was a kid. So there is this, I don't know, like you guys should try this. I don't know, it might be a different experience. There is this legendary filmmaker called K. Vishwanath Garu. He makes this classical films, like which reflect a lot of Indian culture, a lot of Telugu culture, movies on dance, movies on music, movies on human emotions. It's like very deeply rooted emotional films, these are, right? I highly recommend these films. I will send the list to you
Okay.
if you want me to.
Okay.
Brandon, I
Yeah.
have your number, so I'll send you the list of movies. Watch it. It's on YouTube. You will understand, you know, how the roots of a culture are so well portrayed in his films, along with a great story and a lot of human emotions in them. For that time, I'm talking about these films are in the 80s and 90s, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
For that time, these films are so ahead of their times, yet so grounded. So I think K. Vishwanath sir is one of my biggest inspirations. And all of Kamal Hassan sir's movies.
Mm.
If you look at the film that I like, my comfort film is Sagar Sangamam, which happens to be a combination of Kamal Hassan sir and K. Vishwanath sir as well.
Okay.
So
Okay.
K. Vishwanath sir directed it, and Kamal Hassan sir actually acted in the film. So
Oh,
Sagar Sangamam is my comfort movie. So if I'm feeling low, I'll watch Sagar Sangamam every day. At least a couple of scenes I'll watch it on YouTube just to feel good.
yeah.
If I'm in need of inspiration, I'll watch Sagar Sangamam. It's like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and Kamal Hassan sir's Hey Ram as well. There's this film called Hey Ram.
Yeah.
I highly recommend you to watch the film. This film was in the late 90s. That was when the film released. It had a very radical take on Indian history, and it's a fictional take on a historical part of India.
Hmm.
But it was very controversial as well at that time, and but the amount of art that Kamal Hassan sir actually put into this film, you should go and see it. The
Yeah.
kind of production design, the kind of sound design that he's done for the kind of performances that is extracted. He directed the film as well. So if you watch it, it's one of the best experiences. It's a long film,
Okay.
and again, the film didn't do really well back then.
It's a great
Various
movie.
reasons.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
It's a
Yeah.
great film.
Oh,
It's
I'll
like
have
three
to
or
watch
20
it.
Yeah.
minutes of watch. It's like a 3 or 20
Yeah.
minute watch. You should watch it. I highly recommend that film.
Okay.
I'll send you the list of films
Yeah.
that I feel that you guys should watch and react to it. Yeah.
Okay. That's the
Yeah,
biggest
yeah.
request right
Wow.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then we have to. Well, I have one last question. So when I was looking up your name online, it pre-populated. The question was like Sailesh Kolanu age, and I was like, what? So either like because it seems to be a mystery. Like, so you're either much younger than you appear, much older, or you're a vampire. So
Are you a vampire?
are you a vampire?
Let me just check my fangs. I'll be back.
On a completely unrelated note, though, is there any advice that you would give to your younger self?
I'll just tell him probably not to take life not to take it too seriously. I guess my early 20s, I guess I spent a lot of time, um, stressing myself out of what to become in life, and there's
Right.
so much that I would probably say don't take life too seriously. I think you'll reach where you have to reach, like
It's true.
because I've always figured out that I've done what gives me happiness. And I think the early 20s was the time when I was not doing that. I was thinking too much about, what to become. And that I think it's very, very common when you start your career, you just want to be sure about, you're taking the right path and stuff. But I think I'll tell myself not to take myself too seriously.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
good
yeah.
advice,
But I wouldn't
actually.
change a thing that happened in my life because it's been such an enriching experience so far. I've been very lucky in my life to find the right set of people in my personal life and my professional life as well. So yeah, yeah. And I'm turning 39 on this 26th.
Oh, the mystery's solved.
Mystery solved right here.
We followed the crumbs.
39. Wait, on the 26th, you said?
This month 26th.
This
I'm
month?
turning,
26.
Oh,
So you're a
yeah, yeah,
Scorpio.
God, happy early birthday.
Scorpio.
That
Yeah.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
thanks, man.
The
Thank you.
darkness.
Right?
Yeah.
Would you be cool if we do a couple of quick rapid fire questions? Kind of. I know you
Sure,
got to
man.
go.
Why not?
Okay.
Let's
All
go.
right. Let me
Yeah,
try.
no,
Let me
it's all
try.
right. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Here we go.
I'm excited for
Lightning
this.
round.
Generally, this is the dreaded part of all the interviews that I give.
Lightning round.
I'm damn bad with responding immediately, but I'll still give it
Oh
a
no,
try.
you're excellent. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. Late night writing, chai, coffee, or energy drink to keep you going.
Oh, I don't consume both, man. I think I would prefer a nice ice cream in the nighttime.
Ice
probably.
cream in the night. Okay, good. That's a
Okay,
right
okay,
in
okay.
answer.
Because I don't consume tea or coffee, and I don't consume energy drinks as well. So probably a nice ice
Okay,
cream.
good.
in the
Yeah,
night.
those
I do
energy,
that a
Dang.
lot of times.
energy
Yeah.
drinks will kill you, man.
That's healthy. Okay.
If you had to choose, would you prefer directing or writing?
I would prefer writing than directing,
Okay.
because
Okay.
I think most of my directing comes from just making sure that what I write translates well onto the screen.
Mm,
I keep telling this to a lot of my producers and the actors as well, that if I find a guy who's damn good with doing exactly what I've written, I will write, hand over the script, and move on to the next one.
Oh,
Like,
that's
because I
actually a good
enjoy
idea.
writing a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also enjoy directing the film now because I'm working with the right set of people. Because directing can go north or south depending on the kind of collaborations you form. Because
Yeah.
right now I have a great team of technicians that I'm working with. I enjoy every day. if it is making me happy, I'm more than happy to go and do it. But writing and direction, I enjoy writing more, I feel.
Oh, okay. Okay, makes sense. Real quick question on that. What's your workflow like? Do you like outline it first, or you kind of just go with it?
I start off with the character biographies,
Oh,
just
okay.
to understand, who these characters are. Generally, character biographies are the first thing that I write after the
Mm.
log line. Once I have the log line in place, so a log line needs to have an antagonist, protagonist, and the conflict. So I kind of, dwell on that and develop on that first. So who's my antagonist? What's his biography? Where does he come from? What is he in the film? Who's my antagonist? And when I put them together, what kind of drama can come out? That's the outline that I first write. Yeah, and then from there I progress on to writing like the nine most essential beats that need to be there in the film.
Oh, and then
So
just fill in the
it's a
details.
classic Blake Snyder way of writing things. Yeah, yeah.
It's
Okay.
working for you, man.
It's been working for me so far. Yeah.
All right, night shoot or early morning call time? What do you prefer?
Night shoots.
Night shoot.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing a
Night shoots.
pattern.
Absolutely night. I'm a very nocturnal guy. Like I enjoy working nights than the morning shoot. Yeah.
When you're writing, background music or total silence?
Background music. Yeah.
Background music.
What's your
What do you
what's your
listen to?
playlist? Yeah.
Appropriate. A lot of Hans Zimmer keeps playing when I write thrillers.
Okay.
That's
A
good.
lot of Zimmer. It's always like Zimmer mode on when I'm writing thrillers.
That goes
Yeah.
for anything. I'd listen to that at the gym sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Who'd win in a fight? Your protagonist from hit 1, 2, or 3?
Oh, very tough question, man.
I think I know who I would go for.
I think I do.
I think if we just take the characters, I feel Arjun Sarkar will win the fight because
Okay.
we
Yeah.
have seen his prowess, what he can do.
Yeah.
The other two, probably in a nice conflict with the criminals, they would probably win. But I guess if you put the three of them together, I guess he's a boxer. Like if you see there is a boxing style in him as well. So
Yeah.
like boxers have a lot of endurance as well. Like they can take a punch much more than others.
true.
So I think Arjun Sarkar will win the fight if you put all the
It's a
three of
tough
them
one.
together.
Which one
Yeah,
do you
the
think
tough
would
one,
solve the same
That's what I
case
was gonna.
fact?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask the same thing.
Okay, so I think Vikram from Hit 1 has a much more procedural knack towards understanding how to solve a crime. He has good forensic knowledge because you've seen him do that in the film, right?
Yeah.
As a character. But I think even Arjun Sarkar with his experience, because he's older than the other two guys, although we have not gone much into the investigative side of Arjun Sarkar in the film,
Yeah.
I think with his experience and age, I guess he will also have good forensic knowledge. So yeah.
Yeah, they were all really
Yeah,
smart.
they're all good.
We were saying at the beginning of Hit 3, it was like kind of wild because we thought maybe he's like a bad guy initially.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really, it
That was
really
the
threw us
intention
off.
as well. Like, yeah, that was the intention as well because we wanted to start the film where people think that there is probably he's the guy who's committing the crimes. But again,
Yeah.
when you kind of understand that multiple crimes are happening in the film, multiple people are committing it in the same modus operandi. That's when
Yeah.
the actual plot starts.
Bigger challenge, writing the perfect twist or keeping it a secret during promotions.
Ooh.
Oh, oh God. Oh, that's a very tough question, but both are very difficult, I guess. I would say keeping it a secret during promotions becomes much more difficult because it not only depends on me, it depends on so many other people
That's
who have
true.
shot the film already. Because
Yeah.
you constantly have to keep telling them, "Shh, no, you stop there. You don't, that happens a lot. Like
Just-
sometimes if you give away.
Just don't hire Tom Holland.
Oh, no, he's
Yeah, he's the
notorious for
worst.
giving things away. Can't put the cat back in the bag. And then last one. If you had to cast Achara and myself in the hit verse,
Oh my God.
what kind of roles will we be in?
Okay, so I would say for Achar, looking at her, I think I'll put her in the forensics department.
Okay.
I guess she can be an amazing science girl who can crack a lot of difficult
yeah,
cases.
she's
and
smart
stuff.
anyway.
Yeah.
I could do that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Brandon?
probably I think
Prisoner number
you
one.
mentioned that you hit the gym and stuff. I'm assuming that you're a fit guy. What did you say? Sorry.
He said prisoner number one.
You're a fit guy. You were just saying that you hit the gym and stuff, and I can see that you're you're in good shape as well.
Appreciate it.
I probably would put you in the police department along with probably you'll be a good aid to Arjun Sarkar maybe.
Oh, yeah.
How's your Tom Cruise run?
Oh, yeah, I got that down, baby. Yeah.
I just feel like every single cop movie, it's like cardio. I see people running, and I'm already like,
Yeah.
I'm tired, man.
What for hit three we had major difficulty because we made Nani run in snow, and it was very difficult because
Oh
you know
yeah.
when you're running in snow, you know how it is, like the if it is powdery snow, it is okay, you won't slip so much, but if
Yeah.
it's a hard snow,
Oh God.
you can go
Oh,
wrong
that's
within a couple
tough.
of seconds,
Yeah.
like it's very tough. And if you see all the chase sequences that happen in Kashmir region, he was running in like snow which we didn't even know whether it was hard or soft. We tried to break it before he runs, but the weather was minus 16. Like it
Yeesh.
used to
Yeah.
solidify. So yeah, we were shooting in the most difficult weather
It looked
in
tough.
Kashmir. It was a very difficult schedule. We stayed there for almost like 20 days or something, and it
Mm.
every day it was minus 15, minus
Oh
16.
my God.
My
It was
God.
crazy weather to shoot in. Yeah. I mean,
Whew.
the most difficult is for the actors because we are all like super geared up. Like
Yeah.
we're wearing like super good snow gear and all, but the actors cannot be wearing that and start looking like Game of Thrones otherwise. So we
Right.
like
Yeah.
so we like obviously they will have to get rid of their. And Nani used to shiver, like all the actors who were all acting they used to shiver, and we feel very bad for them when that happens.
I bet.
Yeah. It's like you always have to have like the little, like
Oh,
the,
the
the
hand
hand
warmers? Oh,
warmers in the
yeah.
pocket.
Absolutely.
Or like I worked on a set in Canada once, and I think it was for Fringe. So we're in like, nice whatever kind of outfits for being investigating
Uh-huh.
stuff. So yeah, the investigating vibe definitely there. And
Yeah.
but then like offset, there's like wardrobe with like big fluffy coats.
Ready to go.
Just like, do you need your
Yeah.
coat? Do you want to wear your coat? Yes, put the coat on me. And then like
Yeah.
take it off, do the scene.
That must have been
Yeah.
real. I mean, I can't even imagine. I
That's
can't even
wild.
handle LA cold sometimes,
No,
man.
I
I
can't
mean, I would do
handle
it if the role was right, but it's tough.
It
I
is
remember one
tough.
time there was a rain scene, and they had the big fake rain thing going, and
Right.
it was a night shoot, and we were all freezing, and they just made a big pot of chai. Funny enough, over
Right.
here they made a big pot of chai, but it worked. It kept everybody pretty warm. So
Yeah. No, but when you shoot in these weather, like which is sub-zero temperatures, the biggest problem is to make sure the crew is safe.
Yeah.
And if they can fall like because it's high altitude, there are people who have to carry like really heavy stuff.
yeah,
Things can go wrong really, really fast. It's a couple of incidents did happen where, in fact, we actually was very sad incident happened. We lost one of our crew members as well when we were shooting, but it was because
oh,
of a pre-existing condition, and it got
oh,
worsened when we were
Oh
shooting
my
there, and
gosh.
all that happened. It's very difficult schedule for us to pull
yeah,
off. And we were shooting all very, very difficult scenes as well. This is not like a song or a romantic scene that we were shooting. It was all like really dark stuff that we were doing there, and everything was outdoors because we went there to capture the snow. Like we
yeah.
went there to capture the visuals in snow. So all of them were like in valleys and in out there and in heavily snowing regions and stuff. It's very difficult to shoot.
Right.
I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Anyway, I think that's all we
Yeah,
have
we don't wanna
for
keep you all
today.
day, man.
Anyway,
Super. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
this was
Pleasure
so
talking
much
to you guys.
fun.
It's
And thank you so much for having this long conversation with us.
wonderful, wonderful talking to you guys. And I mean, would like to mention it again. Amazing work. Very good videos that you guys put up. Keep
Yes,
doing the great stuff.
thank you.
And
Thank
I'll send
you.
you the list. I want you to watch some really good classic Indian films, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah,
Cool.
thank
All
you.
right,
Yeah.
we'll do
All
that.
right. Yeah, thanks again.
Super. All right.
Sounds great.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Bye
See ya.
bye.
Bye bye.